Yo, this Kyle, and I'm here with Sharayna Christmas. This is the Yo You Dope Show, the first podcast. I have D. Watkins coming up next. He's over there looking dumb as ever. It's like, no, I'm just playing. So, I'm here with Sharayna Christmas, and we have a unique collaboration that's in effect.
Yeah. Good morning.
She works with the youth very heavily and has been working with the youth for 13 years.
Yeah, about 14 years. Yeah.
She doesn't even look old enough to be doing anything for 14 years.
Well, thank you, Kyle.
I'm gonna have to post a picture so you can see. How you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful.
Good
Thank
morning.
you for having me. Good morning. Good morning.
So let's talk about this collaboration we had. Well,
Yeah.
First, let me talk about our individual organizations.
Mm-hmm.
So this summer, I did a summer camp. It was called Youth Perspective Baltimore Photography Camp, 2018, because I'm going to do one every summer. And I had 10 youths that I taught photography, all different facets of photography, for free. We did 5 weeks, 3 days a week, and they killed it. And they have an opportunity to showcase their work at Ida B's table.
Yeah.
And that's all thanks to Miss Sharayna Christmas.
Yeah. So, we were introduced, I knew about Perspective Baltimore, but we were introduced through Light City, and I wanted to get a chance to know you and Aaron. I didn't want to just be on stage with you two. And when I found out that you were doing the youth program, that just made me light up. And just because I know about your personality and how you work. And so when I came to the orientation, the idea, before I came to the orientation, you and I had talked, and I said, I think it would be great to have the October exhibition, if that's enough time, to showcase all of their best images. And so on Tuesday, October 9th, which is next week, we'll be able to showcase our exhibition, which is Baltimore and Beyond, in the world beyond, so that young people that have been in your group can actually see their work exhibited and see it sold, and talk about the work and talk about their experience.
They're so excited.
Yeah, they should be. We print out a lot of photos.
I know.
And so
The parents are more excited.
I know. Parents are this is my
they won't
baby's
stop
work.
hitting my phone. Like, it's like, where's it going up?
Make sure to get them tickets, though, because it sells out very quickly.
Right.
So, and a portion of the proceeds is going to go towards our actual collaboration, which is the travel program that we'll be doing in 2019. So, my organization is Muse 360 Arts, and I started that in 2005. I actually started out with my dance studio in 2013 because I grew up in Harlem and I went to Dance State of Harlem. So for me, it was like a natural progression to do dance, but then I wanted to do something more creatively with youth. Mm-hmm. And so in 2007, I decided to start focusing on the history of our people with youth, and I decided to travel. So we've been to 8 different countries, everywhere from Dominican Republic to London, Paris to Cuba.
Wow.
And every place that we go to, we study Black people.
Nice.
Because I want them to see themselves outside of Baltimore. But this past summer, the summer of actually 2017, I decided to focus on Black life in Baltimore City. And I decided to do that because I said it's great to take them outside of the city, but it's more important for them to know where they come from, because it's absolutely not being taught in schools. So why not the perfect marriage between Youth Perspective and New Generation Scholars, which is the program, to have your young people, really kind of spearhead this collaboration with, we're going to actually open it up to 30 young people in the city, which is a totally free program for them to work with you on a fall program where they'll be using the cameras and learning different skills as kind of a preset to the summer. Because in the summer, they'll be traveling internationally. And so we're looking to travel to Bahia, Brazil, or to Senegal. I'm actually exploring that idea as well.
Either one is good with me.
Yeah, with me as well. I've been to Bahia. I've never been to Senegal, but same course. So that's why we're looking at both. But
right.
More specifically, the purpose of starting in the fall would be for the young people to, like I said, work with you on a photo essay project. So they'd be, using the cameras, learning skills from you. We have Lisa Snowden McCrae, who's my girl. She's going to be teaching creative writing, and so young people will be exposed to her. We have Dr. Jessica Johnson, who teaches African diaspora studies at Hopkins. So the young people will be exposed to other people that look like them, that are thriving in their fields, or at least still trying to do something positive.
Right.
And so the Seek and Pursue phase, which starts in hopefully at the end of October and it concludes in May. May would be their second exhibition. So the October exhibition, again, on October 9th, kind of kicks off our collaboration. It's a celebration, you know, it's a celebration.
It's a celebration, bitches.
Yeah, from 5 to 8. You know, so that's a celebration. It's like we coming together. It came together, really smoothly, and I'm just really grateful for that. And then, we kick off the program. October 20th, we have a free arts day for youth, and Kyle will be teaching mixed media and photography.
I sure will.
We also have Megan Lewis teaching painting, and Janae Afia Matthews teaching collage. But it's a free day for Baltimore City youth. We already have people filling up the slots. And that's on Saturday, October 20th, between 10 a.m. and 2. But more importantly, from 2 to 3, young people and their families around the city would be able to come and meet us and find out more about how to get involved in the program. So, yeah, said a lot, but good things happening. So
great things are happening.
Yes,
great things are happening. Let's talk about just briefly, because I know you have to go. But let's talk about why you want to invest so much of your time into the youth and why that's so important.
Yeah. So, I think that, I started when I was in my 20s. I'm going to say that. I'm not going to tell you exactly the year so you don't calculate. But anyway, I started in my 20s. And, I saw Baltimore as a place that reminded me of my home, reminded me of where I grew up. And so I'm like, my mother gave me opportunities that I would never have. And so I really started with the love for youth. And one of the scholars that I completely respect, Dr. Maureen Baani, she always talks about how youth are if you don't consider youth as a part of your strategy in terms of helping Black people to get better, then it's like, what are you really doing? So for me, it kind of transcended from me saying I love youth, because after I had my child, I was like, hold on, I love the youth, but I also got this little knucklehead over here. So I'm like, hold on.
Right. So
it became more about how can I build a brighter future for them, right? So it's like, when people talk about being revolutionary, and mobilizing and organizing, they're thinking, okay, let's think about the masses. But for me, I've taken over 60 youth, out of the country. That's not a lot to some people, but for me, it's about a way to really connect with them and also meet them where they are. So for me, like I said, it really comes down to thinking about a more positive future for our community and for Black folks. And this is really by the grace of God. If you ask me at 21, when I was working in finance, would I be doing this? I say, no, I don't want to work with youth. I'm not teaching dance. I don't even want to do any of that. But really, like I said, just the innate spirit that kind of lives within me to care for people and to love people. And I get that from my mother, hands down, really has led me to put effort towards this. So I don't want to just throw a youth program that's so temporary, right?
Right.
I'm like, let me give the youth a year-long program. Let me give them a scholarship then to college. So we've been able to provide financial scholarships, not big, but, help families get like the little needs that they have, so all
everything
of this
helps.
Yeah, everything helps. And so I think a lot of times people say, oh, I need this. I need an organization. I need a nonprofit. And I have that. But, again, it really starts with just the face-to-face connection with youth. If another young lady, if your daughter can see me doing what I do, could I help her? Even if she doesn't even want to do this, she might say, oh, I like Miss Sharayna, I want to hang out with her, right? So I made myself available over the last 10 years to kind of do those things. So, and I think that as I move forward, it's important that we collaborate with people, because how can I expect you to thrive for 10, 15 years? I've been doing it by myself. It's like, what would it look like if we joined together? So to me, it just makes the perfect sense. It just makes sense. And we need the help. So
right. And a lot of the money that you used to travel in the past has come out your pocket, right?
Yes. So this is the first year. 2019 will be the first year we actually got full funding. I'm so excited to travel internationally. So yeah, I use my business to fund my young people's endeavors. I have a very interesting, I don't want to say interesting, but I don't believe in always taking foundation dollars. I don't believe in, and if anybody wants me to change who I am to support my young people, it's just not going to happen just because you give me $100,000. And I remember telling a funder, if you think for 1 minute that you have invested more in my organization than I have, you got something mixed up. Right. So yeah, I've had to financially support my young people. It has cost me. a lot.
I'm sure it's gonna pay off.
It's paid off. A lot of my students, they've been to all 8 countries. I mean, but I think that as we build leaders, it's important that that we also invest in ourselves too. So like with the funding, it's going to hire people. It's going to hire some of the youth. I don't believe in just everybody working for free all the time. You know what I mean, including myself. So yeah, but it's the first year we got full funding, so I'm excited.
I'm excited too. Well, thanks for being on the show, Sharayna. This is the very first show, and you're my very first guest. So
I'm honored.
That's
Thank you.
very special to me. So
Thank you.
Thanks again. Come on, sleepy Smurf.
Hey,
Yo.
I be feeling horrible. I be forgetting, yo. Like,
what?
You meet so many people, like.
Yeah, and you just can't remember where you know them.
I be my head be spinning, dog. Like it don't even be personal. Like my shit be spinning. Like I be doing like 12 things. Like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You be doing like 12 things, so it's like
It's hard to keep up. It's hard to keep up when you moving and shaking out here.
I mean, you be like you lock in on, the core people that you've been doing stuff with, and then you lock in on they got different moving parts in their world too. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, my manager's daughter, my cousin's, court case. Like that shit is moving parts on top of your moving parts. I was in the coffee shop this morning, and the lady was like, "Hey, I know you, and I know Condor, I know you guys really well." And I'm like, thank you, that's what's up. Like, I'm thankful that
Right.
Well, don't compare me to Connie. Like, he's like, it's my child.
That's my grandson.
Yeah. No, but I'm ready to start when you ready, bro.
No, we already started. I'm in here with my main man, D. Watkins. Give it up for him. Yeah, we got a live audience of 10,000 in here, for real. Nah, so
get $1 from all of them.
This is Mr. DDH himself, for real. For those who don't know what DDH is, what does DDH stand for?
Down the hill. Anything past Igga Street, and I would probably say between Igga and Fayette, and then I would probably say between Broadway and Highlandtown. I would put it in a square.
Put it in a square.
Just like that. Some people might, be like, once you cross Broadway, you get to up the hill and all that. Once you cross Igga Street, you get to up the hill and all that. But there's some good guys up the hill, some good guys down the hill, some good guys in Highlandtown, like all over East and West Baltimore, man. It's just so many good people, so many talented people.
And that's where you grew up?
That's where I grew up. Fortunate to be here. Fortunate to be sitting with you. Fortunate to, be considered to be like a person in Baltimore with people like you and people like Connie and, Aaron and a bunch of other people who are like doing their thing and making a difference and creating and having an impact. So, I think about that stuff all the time.
Definitely. And everybody that you name really came from the hood, right?
Except Aaron.
But he live in the hood now.
But he lift weights, yeah. Plus he lift weights, so he
and he's 6'9".
All right.
So he get a pass.
He got boot cut jeans too, so he got hood in him.
Oh yeah. Throwback boot cut style.
No, but everybody though, like, I could bounce ideas off of you. I could bounce ideas off of Connie. I could bounce ideas off of Aaron. Y'all could bounce ideas off of me. And we all have like this community of people that that's trying to get to it, but then at the same time I'm trying to make sure younger people are watching those moves, because when you was coming up, like, who was the photographer that was like, yo Kyle, your aperture, your f-style, like that guy wasn't out there. Who was the person that had the camp that was teaching kids how to do photography? That guy wasn't walking through your neighborhood. So you got to be that person that you didn't have. And it's kind of hard to balance that between success and then making sure you passing those tools down. But as we're part of a great generation, we're part of a legacy of Black artists that are doing that, and I'm just, like I said, I'm just honored to be a part of it.
Well, you're one of the greatest writers that come out of Baltimore, and one of the greatest writers out in my opinion, and I might be a bit biased because I know you.
Because I crossed you over. Ah, the nigga get right.
See, I was gonna wait till later to get into the basketball for real.
No, thank you. No, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I worked really hard at it. And you know, like I've published a lot of places, and you caught me when I was like, just had like a full clip, so I was ready to spit articles out. So I'm like, oh, you got a magazine, 1729? Back, here go an article, bow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you know, put them together. And that article that I wrote in 1729 magazine, which if the listeners don't know, that's a magazine that the Kyle always been an entrepreneur in business and making moves. So I wrote an article in that magazine about the time I got stopped by a police officer in Latrobe and how annoyed I was at the fact that I didn't really do nothing. And a lot of people rock with that essay so much that I put it in the B-side. And when I go to schools, and to this day, people still talk about like that essay. Like they liked it a lot.
Yo, when I put that up, I had no idea that people read that much. Yeah. Like that was the first time I realized that black people read a lot. You know what I mean? Because my demographic was mostly black people, and I got a lot of hits off of that.
I think the thing is like, you know, like you read it and you rock with it, and then you identify with a lot of people that was following you and they rock with it. So it's like we do read. We just gotta have the content that speaks to us, something that we can laugh at, something that we can like identify with, that's not really being put out by the media, or that's not really being put out by other people that write articles. Like if you black and you from Baltimore City, you probably don't really want to read a New York Times feature article about some dude that lost his dog. You feel me? Like you probably don't, you know, like people really write whole cover stories about their dog. Like, oh my God, his name was Sparky. Sparky had the most beautiful jaw and a fresh coat, and you know what I'm saying? I mean, you have dogs and you love your dog, that's cool, but like, come on, dog, like you just because you're a dog owner, it don't mean you just want to read about like somebody that missed their dog all the time. Like, you know what I mean?
Right. That's not cover page.
Let's go buy another one.
Right. Basically. But that's a good segue into your new book, We Speak for Ourselves. What besides the fact that you know the title is so self-explanatory, what brought on, you know, you writing that?
Yo, it's like if I do an event in Baltimore City, and you know, I feel like the role of the artist is to do A, B, C, and I say that, and they like, yo, he's black, he's from East Baltimore, so Kyle's black, Kyle's from East Baltimore, so if D says the artist should do A, B, and C, Kyle has a whole different perspective, but we just gonna throw them guys in the box because they both black, they both like the hoop, they both from East Baltimore, they both went to high school around the same time, so they got the same perspective. Right. You know what I'm saying? And that's not really like it's not fair. It's like all of these. It's like you always take like one person. You know what I'm saying? And you give that one person the opportunity to define the whole race, and that's not. It's not really like a fair thing for me. So I'm always big on people getting the opportunity to be able to, you know, tell their own stories. Like I remember when you first was like with the book, and you sent me the photo, you sent Tark the photo, you sent Kanye the photo, and you was like, I want all y'all to write down what y'all think about it. You got 3 different things. Right. First thing that came to my mind is like, yo, you want to get to schools? Leave them blank. Let the kids do it. You know what I'm saying? You don't need a poem for me and Tark under every... People sick of hearing from me and Tark. You know what I'm saying? Right. These kids got their own stories. They got their own perspectives. They got their own vibe. So let them do it. And then, you know, now kids love the book. They talk about it. They request it. They make them into journals. They do their thing with them because they get a chance to speak for themselves. They don't need D. Watkins the dinosaur telling them what Northeast Market sell. You know what I'm saying?
They already know what it sell.
They already know what it sell. They don't need, you know what I'm saying? They don't need Tarek to be spiritual, you know, on every other page. There's nothing wrong with that because that's Tarek's vibe. Right. And that's Tarek's wave. And that's what makes Tarek. You know what I'm saying? What makes Kyle, what makes me. You know what I mean? So it's like, I think that's been my whole vibe since I got platform. My whole vibe has always been, how do you feel? Not what Al shopped in, or, You know what I'm saying? Van Jones is somebody is saying the black people need. And another thing that kind of make me upset, you know, about like how black people are done in the media is just this whole idea of when these people speak, large groups of people listen to them. You understand? So, for example, I saw a black dude who's a famous artist. He's a famous artist he does really well. Like he did a show. I was at this show. I wasn't a guest, but I happened to be in London, happened to be at the show, and he got paid like £15,000 for like doing a poem for like 15 minutes. So that's like 30 bands for one poem for 15 minutes, right? And he's ripped it too. Like he ripped it, like he went crazy, right? Yeah. So I'm like, damn, that's dope. So I'm listening to him talk, and you know, we backstage because I knew another writer who got invited to be out there, right? Who ended up being a clown. But I know another writer who got invited out there, and I was out there. I went to the show with Joe. Yeah. And we backstage talking, and the dude was like, "Yeah, yo, you know, black people, you know, we definitely should get reparations, but we shouldn't get cash. We should get free college." And I'm like, "Dog, what if I don't want to go to college?
Right.
Maybe you take free college." Give me money.
Right.
Maybe I want to flip it and start a company. Maybe I want to tuck it and go to trade school. Maybe I want to utilize that money to, you know, buy a piece of property and build a business. Maybe I don't feel like studying philosophy. Maybe half the people graduating from college don't even got jobs right now. So if you're going to send a whole bunch of other people to college, you shrinking the job pool. America's service-based. It's not based on intellectualisms and you know what I'm saying? Like, right. It's just in a service economy. People want service. So how you want to just send a bunch of people to school so they can graduate? And I'm not saying that everybody not gonna get hired, but I'm saying that even by assuming that you speaking for people that you don't know, that's A. B, but you know, what if I already went to college? I don't get nothing. You know what I'm saying?
What if you got a full ride?
What if I got 4 degrees already? You know what I'm saying? What am I go? Oh, now that you know this guy. Now that this guy said that, you know what I'm saying? Now that this guy said that I should be going to college, I guess I go back and get come on, cuz. Like, come on, like. But why do you feel like you got the luxury just to say that?
Right.
Like, you know how, like, could you imagine a white person saying, you know, white people actually need to, you know, spend more time, you know, eating kale. Like, yo, ain't nobody gonna say that. But when there's a black person, everybody gonna sit there and try to talk about what black people need to do. And I'm saying, dog, don't tell me shit about me and what I need to do. Like, I do what I feel like doing. I do what I want to do. And whoever's speaking on a podium, you know, some of the stuff I agree with, some of the stuff, fuck them. Like, that's it.
Everybody different. And that's what a lot of people fail to realize. Like, even with the school system, how they feed everybody the same curriculum, like it's a box lunch. Like, everybody doesn't eat the same thing. Everybody can't digest the same way, you know, so. Bro, we strangling perspective. Perspective is your vibe, and your thing is getting strangled. Yeah. It's getting strangled because you can speak for the black photographers of Baltimore now. You know what I'm saying? You can do that, and people will not check you. You can get on the podium and be like, yo, it's a black photographer in Baltimore. You know, at the end of the day, I feel like we all need more, you know, to wear cuffed jeans. Yo, but I never do that. I only speak for myself.
You don't do it, but I'm saying it happens, bro. Right, it's happening. It's been happening for years. That's why you feel comfortable saying, all the black people need to do this. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's what the book. So the book, we talk about that, and then we talk about, like, you know, real work versus, like, you know, the facade of what work looks like. You know what I mean? Like, I talk about how you hear about how corrupt police, you know, how corrupt police officers can be, but I take you on a walk through the system and show you what the cops get down like and what they do. You hear about, you know, the bad schools. I take you through the walk through the school system, let you know what time it is, and then you hear about people that's like so-called activists, take you on a walk through like what work looks like versus what people who just, you talk about it use big words all the time, like, oh, I do intersectionality between these communities. Like, no, you don't. You just tweet and complain and sit on panels. You know what I'm saying? Nobody know you. Nobody can hit your phone. You can hop out on these streets. Like, people really be talking about that activism stuff, but then you walk through a neighborhood, they don't know nobody. And then you look at the people that they supposed to mentor. You mentoring the brightest kids in the city. They wasn't going to fail anyway. How you mentoring every kid that's in 47 extracurricular activities? Go interview that little kid with the tattoo of a gun on his face. You know what I mean? Go help shorty out. Like, you helping out kids that already got accepted into 40 colleges. Like, come on, dog. Like, you're not doing that.
that's interesting that you say that, because I work in like 5 schools right now, and out of those 5 schools, one of them gave me a group full of like the quote unquote good kids, and that's because of the kids that have more challenges there, they don't get enough attention. So it was kind of like a incentive, for them to be able to come with me. But what I realized is like the ones who are challenged are the ones that I can help the most. Like saying, for instance, I work at Calverton, right? Calverton Middle. I have 2 young ladies in there that wouldn't talk at all for like the first 2 weeks. One of them ended up finishing the whole book, and we're gonna get that published soon. And the other one, we found out through the book that she was homeless. Got her into the Writers of Baltimore schools. I went to do some video for a camp that they had this summer, and she was there. And she was so open and outspoken, and she was just like totally different. So, that kind of help and that kind of influence is really what drives me, what fuels me.
And you only ain't gotta talk about it because you're doing it. You don't gotta talk about it. You don't gotta it'd be cool. It's cool for you to share the story because people need to know how it's impacting. But like, if we don't sit and have this conversation, I wouldn't know that. You know what I mean? And that don't take nothing away from what you're doing because you're doing what's right. Right. Simple. Right. Camera crew. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Bunch of people like saying, "Oh, look at me, look what I did." You just do your job, and like, there's a lot of people from the city that been doing that for a long time, Like, I don't go by activist because I didn't start, trying to help kids or trying to be a mentor or trying to be a good person because of hashtags. That's how I live my life. I was in the street. Like, if I can help you, I'm gonna help you. And not in the street. If I can help you, I'm gonna help you. Like, that's easy money. Like, it's a natural instinct. And I think it's been commercialized and it's become phony, and a lot of people who have genuine good hearts, they don't really get the attention and the support they need because you got so many people just hogging the airways and hogging the resources and hogging everything, and then they don't really do anything. And then people look up and be like, "Damn, Kyle, how come when your father went to schools, they was messed up? How come my father, went to schools that was messed up? How come our grandfathers probably was, in schools that was messed up? How come me and you went to schools that was, wasn't always well taken care of? You know what I mean? Not the best learning environments. You know what I'm saying? And we went to citywide schools, but even still, like, Dunbar still had the same problems with the heat and AC that schools have to this day. In middle school, forget about it. It's a whole other, like, my middle school was nothing but have a baby all over again. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, war zone. So it's like, and it's the same thing over and over again. It's because the people with the resources, the people with connections and resources don't really care about the people they're supposed to be serving. They just want to come when there's a microphone and a podium. They don't want to do the work. And then the flip side of that, what makes it worse, is that a person like yourself that's actually doing good work don't get elevated enough. Because like, if somebody should hear this story, and then they should like, let's dump some resources behind that, because that changed their life, instead of dumping resources behind something stupid like you know what I'm saying, Ray Lewis parade, something that nobody cares about. Nobody cares about.
People ask me if I was going to that, and I could literally care less about that.
But let him tell it. He's a hero. Like, let him tell it. He's a hero. He don't even sign autographs for kids. But let him tell it. Let me not say that. Some kids. I'm gonna say some kids. There's been some stories about him, being like, I don't feel like it till like a kid, and it's only like one kid. But we won't push that to the side. I'm just gonna say that. That's not the vibe. That's not the wave. We live in a city where, like, it's just so blatant, bro. Like, I get nauseous. Like, I get nauseous with our elected officials. I get nauseous with our, quote unquote leaders. I get nauseous with myself as much as I get nauseous at other people, because I know I shouldn't care. Like, I know I should, not that I shouldn't care, but I know I should expect certain things from certain people. Like, I know I should, right. But I really be like, really be having faith in people, and they just be letting me down like every time, and I just be like, I'll be like, oh man, they let me down. Oh.
And it's like they throw you a oop, and then they'll throw it up, they'll throw you a oop, throw it up the backboard, and then LeBron and it catches themselves and dunk. You know what I mean?
You the oop, right. And then when you go to get it, they
push you and then go get it, dunk it themselves for real. Yeah. I swear, like, I've had so many meetings with people that want to do so many things. And it never transpires to anything.
No, I was at that stage though. I was at the stage you at as far as like this city. I was there. Like I see it. Like Connie's there too, where like everybody's getting familiar with your work. So it's like they discovered you. You know what I'm saying? Like you just started. Like you just picked your first camera up a day ago. You know what I'm saying? People don't understand overnight success stories take 20 years, but that's another story. They think you just picked the camera up and you just started, right? So like, you know. Now everybody want to meet you, but they really just want to waste your time. Everybody want to meet you, but they just want to be seen with you in public. Everybody want to get with you, but they just want to take a photo or something. They be like, "Oh, that's my homie. He from East Baltimore. He do this and that." But you're right. You gotta learn how to delegate between what's important and what's not important because they will waste your time, bro. They put me on North Avenue to talk about my book like 3 times and nothing happened. Nothing happened.
Yo, that's one of the people that I was thinking about when I just said that.
All the schools use them though. All the schools use them. So it's like y'all don't even know. Y'all so disconnected that y'all don't even know that a book that y'all denied because of profanity, right? It's already being used in all y'all schools.
Right.
So you can get on board and look smart, but instead you looking goofy because this shit is going on and y'all don't even know what's happening. And you say you got a big focus on literacy, but all the books y'all recommend be ones the kids don't read.
Right.
So y'all.
And I know for a fact, like some of the schools that I work in have his book, and they love it. I'm talking about like I've literally seen a couple kids argue over like, "Nah, this is my book. Nah, this is my book." So I mean, your book is making moves out here. So let's talk about your first 2 books. And you know, I know you don't like to talk about your first book too much, but let's just talk about like what made you write that first book. Like that was your first book, so you know it's special in a sense.
Yeah, I think your first book is always like your most special book because it's like that's the one you spent 20, 30 some years working on. You know what I'm saying? If you wrote it in your 20s, you spent 20 years on it. You wrote it in your 30s, you spent 30 years on it. So I always think it's special to me. When I wrote the book, I didn't think it was going to be received the way it was. Like I thought that I knew some of my essays was resonating with people from different places, but I didn't know people was going to like swear by that book as like, you know, something that they connected with on the highest level, and they were so impressed and so happy, and people still reach out to me all the time this day, and this book is probably going on like 4 years old. So you know, I'm extremely honored that people rock with it like that. The first book was so popular that it overshadowed the second book. The second book came out 7 months after the first book because I had 2 book deals at the same time.
Nice.
So
2 book deals at the same time.
So and it wasn't planned like that. Like when I sold the cook up sold first. And when they signed me, they thought I was talented, but they didn't really believe in me. They didn't think I had any like they didn't think I had it in me to go far. So when they acquired the book, the woman who acquired the book, she believed in me like crazy. Like she fought for it. Like she fought for over a year to acquire it.
What's her name?
Latoya Smith. So she fought for it. And when they bought it, you know, they was like, yo, it's gonna go straight to paperback. You know, it's like 2013 or something like that, and 2014. And they were like, we're gonna come out like 2017 or 18. I'm like, yo, but the book is done, bro. And they like, yeah, we got you. You be good, cuz. You know what I'm saying? They did me like that.
Wow.
So I'm still writing. Like I'm publishing all types of places, New York Times and Rolling Stone, and I'm back and forth, getting flown out to ESPN because I was working on a project with them. Like I'm really hustling and grinding. Yeah. And another guy named David Talbot, who was a founder of Salon, had hit me up and was like, yo, I found this Salon, but you know, you're the only person writing for him that I like. You know what I'm saying? I'm not there no more, but you know, I'm doing this new thing with Bobby Kennedy and Bobby Kennedy Jr. and Daniel Osberg and Rebecca Solnit, who are like, you know, Bobby Kennedy Jr. is Bobby Kennedy Jr. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, you know, we want you. And I'm like, yo, how I get in that group? And he like, nah, I think you're really nice. So, you know, I want you to come rock with us. So he asked me to come to San Francisco. They flew me out there, gave me some bread. Now I got my second book there. I flew back home, took some of them essays that I already published, wrote some new ones, smacked it together. Here go my book. I had like 35 days to put it together. You know, like 40,000 words. So I put it together.
So for all you writers out there, what you're hearing here is consistency, right? Because you never stop writing.
Bro, that damaged personal relationships. damaged them. They killed personal relationships. Like,
do you regret it?
Nah, I really don't, because if you really rock with me, then you gonna rock with me, you know what I'm saying, when I'm shining, and you gonna rock with me when I'm grinding, and you gonna rock with me, you know, when I'm trying to get to it. Like, you just gonna be there. Like, you gonna understand, because at the end of the day, I don't require, you know, I like to be the type of person that supports you while you grinding. So if you need to break away the ground, I want to support it. Like, I want to be treated the same way. You feel me? So so I wrote that book and they put it out, and I was working so hard, I was grinding so much. It was a New York Times bestseller. I didn't even know. Like, I didn't even know. I just knew they was like, oh, we on our third run, our fourth run, our whatever run. We'll never run. And I'm like, well, that's what's up. But the whole time, I don't know, because I'm on the road and I'm grinding, and I don't know what the heck is going on out there, because I'm not even looking at nothing. I'm just hustling. And then I dropped the second book, and found out that one hit the list too 7 months later. So I'm like, damn, I got 2 of them. Like, that's crazy. I was in San Francisco. I had walking pneumonia. I was ready to cancel the trip, but I took a deposit. I'm not in the refunds.
Right. Yeah. No refunds. Hashtag no refunds.
No refunds. Yeah.
Nah, I get it.
So yeah, but the biggest win for me with both of them books is just the fact that, like, kids like them, kids rock with them. You know what I'm saying? They, you know, and I get a chance to actually work with the kids and, like, hang with them and joke with them, you know, about the book and about stuff like that. And that's my biggest honor, because it's really about them. You know what I mean? Like, it's about them. It's not really about, you know, it's not about me and my wants and my needs as much as, you know, it's about them getting the skills, the critical thinking skills they need to be successful. That's been my big mission from day one. I've been pushing it. I work hard at it. I work with teachers on developing curricula, and, like, you know, that's just my vibe. I've been working on it.
Do you feel like it's very important to be transparent with your work in relation to, you know, how the youth is receiving it?
These kids are smart. You can't lie to them. Like, these kids are smart. Like, you got a book out where kids are actually telling their own stories, and they, you know, and I'm sure you probably reading things or hearing things that you never thought a young person would think or see. I know your mind get blown all of the time. So straight up, you can't lie to them, because they're gonna have to go through it. You know, a lot of parents out there, you know, and I don't know what it's like to have a kid. So, you know, I'm not judging anybody, you know, but they try to hide and protect their kids from stuff that they eventually gonna have to go through. So, you know, I just try to make it my job to be as transparent as possible and say, look, yo, sometimes I do great stuff, sometimes I do stupid stuff, sometimes I win, sometimes I lose. I just try hard though and keep, you know, and keep trying to move in. I try to look at the bad stuff and use it as lessons so I won't make those mistakes, and I try to keep going forward, you know, and I try to keep it and let them know that's what life is, you know what I'm saying? So that's a real thing. Parents or older people in my position like to act like, oh, I never messed up before. I never sold drugs before. I never, you know, I wasn't having sex in middle school and high school. I wasn't doing, well, come on, like, whole time the mother really had like 40 abortions. The father really paid for like 40 abortions. And he out here faking, going off on your little son or daughter for, you know, kissing or something. And it's like, yo, you open up and try to let them know what's out.
Kids are shut down when you start acting like that.
I try to do that with my nephews. Like, I let them know, like, yo, you big goof, you look goofy with the little bottle of liquor this big and a black them out. Don't drive like that. Don't smoke your, like, I tell them straight up because I did it.
Right.
I smoked all types of cigarettes. I smoked cigarettes for years. Like,
what's that Hove line you always saying?
Hove did that. I did that. So you ain't had to go. So I did that. So Colin had to go through that.
Yo, so you mentioned something about you know, teaching the kids about or giving them the skill set, right? And you are a teacher, correct?
Yeah.
You teach at UB?
Yeah, I've been a college professor for like 8 years now. A lot of people don't know. I've been teaching for a long time. Yeah,
I actually got to sit on a few of his classes, and it's not like any class that you will ever go to, and it's a good thing. You know, it's a out of the box style class, and you know, and it's received well. My question for you is, how important is it for the to have collaboration between teachers and mentors?
I think it's extremely important because mentors have relationships with students that teachers don't have, and teachers have a responsibility of providing things to students that mentors necessarily don't have the responsibility of doing. So I think they should be talking and communicating. I think they should be, because the big goal is to make sure the kid is getting what they're supposed to get. You feel me? So like, if we not having these conversations and we not building that community, then the kids they'll suffer in some way. But we do need both. It'd be cool if like the schools even like started like mentor departments and hired people to come in just to like kick it. Like, you don't feel like sitting in math, go kick it with your mentor, take your work down there. Your mentor can rap to you, tell you some stories, whatever, show you some things, and then you get to doing your work. It would be like a cool thing.
I've always been interested in your childhood. How old were you when you had your first major loss?
5. My uncle got killed. I was sitting right there. I was sitting right on the steps. I seen the brains hit the curb. Like, I saw it. You know what I mean? Like, really saw it. Like, I really, really saw people go from like laughing and joking to somebody screaming. Like, I watched all of it, and I think that hurt. That hurt a lot, but it didn't really hurt me as bad because I was so young. I ain't really feel that pain until my homeboy D. I got killed probably like 3 years later. And he was older than me. He was a teenager. He just started hustling. He was brand new. He was on Linwood, taking down young kid. Like, he played baseball with the people. I think with the dudes that was like 12 years old. So he wasn't that old, but he was a young kid who was he wasn't like doing real bad, but you can tell the difference between when he started hustling because he got real flashy and real popular and died real quick. And from there it's been like I'll never sit here and say that we as a people, black people, are desensitized. It's not true. Like, anybody that said, I seen so much murder, I don't feel nothing, they're lying because they didn't see a lot of murder. If you see a lot of murder, and if it's people that you really rock with, like, you're gonna, like, you feel it. Like, you see it at the funerals. You see it when they paint your picture on the side of the wall. You see it when grandmothers and aunts be crying with big snot bubbles coming out their face. Like, you see it. You know what I mean? Like, you see it, and it's painful when it hurt. Like, it really, really hurt. But I think as a child, some people who in my family who I thought, would be there for me in certain situations really wasn't. And I think that grew me up kind of quick. So like, I had a lot of relationships with older people. When I was in high school, we would go to the Paradise Lounge and stuff like that. It would be like 40 dudes from like this neighborhood and 20 dudes from that neighborhood, and we would link up and we would go to these little bars and nightclubs and stuff like that. Like, not the kids that go to the Paradox on the weekend, but now you're going to like parties throughout the week with older people, right? Because that's who you linking with. And I think the good part about that is I grew up quick, so I had an understanding of how the world worked in a really quick way. The bad part is emotionally, it didn't really allow me to develop as much as I should. So like, if I get mad at somebody, like, I cut them off, like, and I just won't talk to them no more, and it don't even be that serious. You know what I'm saying?
That's
like,
how I was too.
Yeah. But like,
it seemed easier that way, right?
But as I get older, like, I'm realizing that that's not the best way to be. Like, it's people like that I really hurt, that's really like out here, that I just totally like forgot about because of that. Oh, you gonna do this? Oh, this I'll be moving. Done. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think I think it was a coping mechanism for the time needed, but I think all people get a chance to like reflect on things about themselves they want to make better and they want to change. And the definition of a good person is somebody who's going to recognize those flaws within themselves and try to be more forgiving. Like, I try to be more forgiving, because I know one time this dude was like, yo, you need to forgive people. Don't you want to be forgiven? I'm like, nah,
Nah,
but I don't want to, but it's like all that stuff is not really like, it's not the healthiest thing to be. So, I got a good relationship with my mom. Even though we got like a big divide, in time spent and, a lot of key moments that, a young guy might need his mom. We didn't really have that. And I got a good relationship with my dad, even though, once I jumped off that porch I was, I had to fend for myself. So, a lot of his charisma, a lot of his jokes, and like a lot of his I got a lot from him as far as like likability. Like people like when he come around. People think he's funny. People think he, you know what I'm saying, he mouth off too much. Like, but in a funny way. So I got that from him. But at the same time, it's like beyond all that exterior is a person that is, I still probably have issues with loss, and my strongest coping mechanism for dealing with that is to be the one to pull the plug first. So like, I'm gonna cut you off, and I'm in control, and I'm trying to work on like not being that person. And it's been a lot. Like being with the person who I'm with now, Karan, she's like really helped me with my patience and really helped me with like understanding of how people might not just need me, financially. People really need me emotionally. And when these people who rely on me emotionally, when I say stuff to them, sometimes it's harsh and sometimes it's cold and it hurts them. And I don't want to be a person that hurt people. You know what I mean? So I try to work on that.
You hurt me so many times with your harsh words, but
you great. Like nigga, the result.
Yeah,
nigga, you great.
I mean, and I appreciate like one thing about me.
But you great though.
One thing about me is like I don't mind you keeping it 100 with me. Like I know for a fact that you got my best interest at heart. You know what I'm saying? You could, soften it up a little bit for other people, but I'm cool with it and I appreciate it. Like you called me out on several things in the past.
But you on your own journey and you created a lane for yourself, and the lane you created is remarkable. So like you got a lot to be proud of. You know what I'm saying? Public apology for anything I said that may have been harsh or rude, but I just felt like no need to apologize. I feel like nobody was gonna say it. I feel like Quintel wouldn't say it.
Quintel not gonna say it because I dusted him in a 1V.
I feel like nobody that went to the city gonna say it. Like, I feel like the city guy's not gonna say it. Nah, but it's another thing. Like when you just a guy that's like out here in these streets, you can talk like that. When you get like a persona, like people start to know you from stuff, then you can't really move the same way. You just can't, because now I'm not just D, I'm not just Dwight, I'm not just saying something. D Watkins said that. So like it might not feel that way when you're talking to your friends, but when I'm talking to people who I don't know like that, a lot of these people in the art world, I don't even know them. You know what I'm saying? Like they be saying like, oh yeah, remember something? And I'd be like, nah, I really don't. And I don't be trying to curve them, but I really legit don't know them. You know what I mean? Like even before I knew you like that, I can reference, oh yeah, that's Kyle. He said, like, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of these people, I don't know where they came from. Like they really just popped up out of nowhere. So I don't really know what they talking about. And it's like, it becomes a situation where like if I talk as loosely to them as they talk to me, and I say something that they don't like, it's not coming from the guy from East Baltimore. It's coming from this guy you've seen in a magazine or television, and I look like a super bad person. So one, I don't go out as much. Two, I don't mix and mingle as much. I'd stay around the same small group of people when I like if I'm out at a function or something like that. I might not even drink like that. Like I might have a drink, or I might wait till I bounce and go somewhere smaller, because it's just too much. Like, and I'm not even a celebrity. So imagine like a real celebrity. Like imagine like what Drake go through. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like he gotta shut the spot down, because again, like if I tweet something and it hurts somebody's feelings, like it's gonna get screenshotted and posted and remembered forever. So it's not a fun way to live, especially when you're trying to build a business and a brand. But you just gotta be conscious, because people always watching, dog. Like they always watching. They're always watching.
Now, to build a business and a brand, you just said that. what's your formula for creating a successful business and brand?
So one, I think it has to be something that you believe in. It has to be something that you believe in, because people don't want stuff that you always trying to tell them. People want to know. People don't want stuff that you always trying to sell them. People want to know that, people want to invest in the greatest product, and the greatest product tend to sell themselves. Like, people like, yo, I got this great product, you need to buy it. It sounds a whole lot different than, I created the greatest product in the world and you should have it. Would you like to know why? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a different type of vibe. I saw that on a TED Talk and it made so much sense how consumers, look at things. But I think it should be something you believe in. So can I drop like a gem real quick?
Yeah,
all right, I'm going to drop a gem real quick. All right, listen, youngsters. You got to do something you believe in. You got to be yourself. Some people get so caught up trying to be other people, they forget who they are. So check this out. When you find something that you love and you want to build your brand based on that, you're in the right place. Because at that point, it's not work. It's not tiring. It's not frustrating. It's just you being you. The Buddha says you should be able to see a person work and play and not be able to tell a difference. That's the game. That's the game. So when you see me at an event laughing and joking, I'm laughing and joking. If you see me at a reading having a good time, I'm having a good time. If you see me at a television show trying to put something together on set, I don't even it's 10 o'clock. I don't even care. Oh, it's 11 o'clock. Oh, I'll get home eventually, because it's not work. It's not work. It's me planning and living my dream out. So you should find something that you believe in. And when you find something you believe in, it's not work. It becomes a part of your life. And if you do that, then you'll be in a place to make something special happen.
So you just talked about believing in stuff, right?
You gotta believe in it.
Do you believe that you belong on somebody's record? You were just on somebody's record, right?
Jay Wise. I was on Jay Wise record.
What were you doing on there? Were you spitting bars or what?
Yo, Jay Wise is a guy from East Baltimore. He's young and he's a beast. He's talented. Like, his album's called Humble Savage, and that's him. He's humble when you talk to him, soft spoken, laid back, real cool. Savage when you put a microphone in front of him. So when he asked me to be a part of the project, I was like, I never did nothing like this before, but for you, dog, like, absolutely. So I met him at the studio. We went to Nate's studio, Taylor Boy studio, and he got everything. He got all types of equipment and wires and lasers. I think he had a laser. He had like a he got everything. He got everything. I'm like,
shout out Taylor.
I'm like,
one of the dopest videographers, one of the dopest people behind the lens in Baltimore.
A robot came and opened the door, Doug. I'm like, So we go to the spot, and Jay Wise was like, just say something, and I'm like, what you want me to say, bro? And he's like, whatever you feel. So I just went there and started talking, and he cut it up and put it together, and it was a good look. Like, I was happy to be a part of the project, and I was happy that some of the stuff I said reached a demographic of people that normally might not be familiar with me or my work, and I'm happy that he gave me that opportunity, for real. Big shout out to Jay Wise, man. That was fun, man. Like, I wanted to be like, can I get a verse like in the middle of the album? But then I was like, nah, I ain't gonna push my luck.
That's what you need.
Because I am old. You know what I mean? That's a young man's game. I'm a dinosaur in there. That's a young man's game. But
TK Kirkland just came out with an album, so y'all know you can.
I went to go see him the other night.
He funny as shit.
Man, he had me in there rolling, man. Like, who raised you?
Yo, funny as what?
Did you go see him?
Nah, but I record for April when she do her Funny Friday, so I got to hear him there and all that stuff. That's actually my second time meeting them, but we've done work together in between. Certain people come to town, man. I go see them. So one of the things people don't know is I'm really into stand-up. Like, I'm into stand-up comedy more than, that's why I joke all the time. I'm into stand-up comedy more than I'm into, sports or whatever. Like, how people go to games and all that. Yeah.
Like, I go see stand-up probably almost every week.
So you were about to dive into stand-up comedy, or are you still?
Yeah, I'm still considering getting it together. I just I'm working on a lot of projects right now, so I haven't had time to make myself grow as an artist in a different way. Working on this HBO thing right now that's in development. Just co-wrote a TV show, and we trying to get that into development. And then I'm like a producer on the Overbrook movie. That's Will Smith and Jada Pinkett company that just started shooting yesterday. So it's like, you know, if they need me to do something, I got to be on call. If they need me to figure something out, I got to be on call. But like, you know, I'm doing that while I'm still making TV appearances, which I got to do today. And then I'm still a journalist for Salon, and then I'm still a teacher, and then I'm still doing book talks and stuff like that. So I haven't really had time to, like, you know, when I finish writing my book, I want to write a YA novel. So by the time my new book comes out in April, the YA novel will be done. I'll be selling that. And as I have these 2 projects done, then I can start to explore and like, oh, okay, so what is it like to try to be a stand-up comic? Because now I got the free time to sit back and kick it. And I try to balance it, engage it like that.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I'm anxious. I'm definitely coming to your first show. So,
yeah, I mean,
you know what I mean? I'm not sitting in the front row because you got too much ammo.
No, I mean, but you know, they say the first one you might bomb a little bit because you got to get the cadence down. Like, you got to get it down. Like reading a book in the studio is not like reading a book to a crowd of people in the audience. It's not like reading out loud in your class. It's all different languages. I was watching one of my friends do a poem the other day, and she was talking regular when we were sitting in the stands, and then when she read the poem, she was like, like her voice went up, and I'm like, damn, like she really changed her voice, like, and it sounded like it was good, but it was really, I wasn't expecting it, but that's the language she knows when she does poetry. That's how she projects herself.
What's her name?
That's how she get a point across. I ain't gonna say her name because it looks like I'm clowning her and shit, but I tell you, I was like, because I'm not clowning.
That's not clowning. It's just showing love. You just said that it's levels to doing things. And,
her name Brandy.
Okay. What's up, Brandy? It's levels. It's levels, Brandy.
It's levels, Brandy.
All right, my last question. Have you rode a bird scooter yet?
I rode a bird scooter without paying for it though, like, cause like they all over down the hill, and like I'm like, yo, how everybody around here? Well, I was like 70 of them down here. Then I went, my homeboy was like, Connie was like his little brother, got like a bunch of them, like everybody got him everywhere. Shout out to Twan. Everybody got, I like, yo, so I kick pedaled one and was like, oh, okay, but I ain't download the app and all that, but I don't know. I think me and my girl might go do it like before it get hot.
This ain't fun, right?
Me and my girl gonna go do it before it get too cold outside.
Yeah, I'm thinking about going to do it too. Like they pretty fast. Like, you know, I got my own scooter.
Yeah,
but you know, I can't ride on sidewalks.
And if you like them, you really can take them home though. You can take them home. You can pay to charge them.
Right. So, I got a pickup truck. So if this podcast don't work out, y'all gonna see me with a truck full of bird scooters.
Oh, that's BSK. That's my man BSK. Bird Scooter Kyle.
Bird Scooter Kyle.
That's my man BSK.
We out here. Who need one? Well, I appreciate you coming on, my brother.
Thank you for having me on. Congratulations on the podcast. It's a nice setup. Y'all can see him in the studio. He got the lights dim. He got an Apple computer with the state of the art Taylor Boy technology. Like
Taylor Boy technology for real. TBT.
He got it popping.
We out here.